All right, let's get started looking at the running back touch distribution so far. San Francisco leads with 173 running back touches. Of course, Christian McCaffrey comes in consensus ranked third. The numbers here appearing here is the consensus rankings for the week. He's ranked third. You can see he's at Tampa. Hey, you know what? He may be ranked third in the rankings, consensus rankings, but he's number four in scoring, but number one in touches. 132 touches so far. All right. Hey, you can see that adds up to, on this pace of 26.4 a game, he's going to have 449 touches of the year. Barkley in his incredible year last year had 388, 22.8 a game. So, Christian McCaffrey, you can see they didn't let up any last week. 30 touches on the week compared to 5 and 4. So he's getting all the action. He's scoring like it. Like we said, number four in scoring. Look at those points he's been getting in. Hopefully he can hold up. They're giving him a lot of touches there in San Francisco. How about number two team is the Detroit Lions, 163 touches on the year. Here's the consensus ranking for the week. Of course, they got them both ranked pretty high. 6 for Gibbs, 24 for Montgomery. Hey, they're playing at Kansas City, a middle of the road schedule there. We can see that they last week Montgomery got a few more touches, 19 compared to 14 there. He did something with it too. Hey, if they're in the control of the game and they're running it out, it's going to be Montgomery. If they're behind, it's going to be more Gibbs, isn't it? But Gibbs has been scoring right with him. He's the number 7 in scoring. All right. For the year, we can see that Gibbs still has more touches, 92 to 68. All right. So he's been getting the rock. So, hey, and they're scoring a 7th and 16th on the year is where they're at in scoring. So, all right, let's bring out the next team. That's Tampa. And they're playing San Francisco, right? You can see touches for the year. Or this is the rankings here. I'm sorry. Irvin is not ranked this week. Question about if he's going to be out or not, right? Questionable that shoulder. I kind of seem to think he was going to be out both weeks. We'll see later in the week if he gets going. So they got White ranked up to 17th and Tucker 47th. Of course, that would change if they find out Bucky Irvin's coming in. But so last week it was all White with these 18 touches to 6 for Tucker. White did come on. You know, that's why you were holding him as a potential handcuff or backup, right? He get in that game, he got in, scored great, didn't he? So, hey, you can see on the year though, Bucky Irvin's still 90 to 49. So Bucky Irvin, when he's in there, is obviously scoring good, right? But White, he got the carries or touches last week because he was out, so scored great. Tucker, he got 7, didn't really score much on those 7, right? But he's fine. He got a little taste there. So we'll move on to the next team is Cleveland, right? 144 touches. A great defense keeps getting the ball back. They got at Pittsburgh. They got Judkins ranked 9th on the consensus ranked 9th for this week, right? 448th, but I don't think you'll be going there if you don't have to. Of course, Judkins, he's been exploding for Cleveland, right? Getting those touches. And, he got off to a slow start, right? Didn't play the first week. Right, came on, then they came on. Didn't get to the suspension. So, hey, he's cranking it through. Excuse me. Last week, though, you can see that 24 touches to 7. And hey, all these were coming early for Judkins. So he's up there and cranked through. Let's move on to Seattle. All right, this is always an interesting one. You got 11 and 10 last week on the touches. So they're splitting them right down the middle. On the season, it's 75-54, more like that. So, but hey, Seattle, they've got Jacksonville up this week. You can see that's position schedule's 20. That's kind of good. So it'd be these two running at Jacksonville. Of course, Jacksonville's been doing pretty good on defense, so it's no pushover. But for last week, though, scoring, you can see 20th on the year for fantasy scoring and 34 for these two. So they're both always in the conversation. Split them pretty equal last week. I guess game flow has a lot to do with it too. But hey, you can Walker's been startable. You can see he's 20th on the year. So Seattle. Let's bring up the next one up on the list is Carolina. Boy, They're getting the touches there. They've got a nice, easy home game against Dallas this week. 27th ranked. Of course, the rankings here, Hubbard's going to be out, they think. He's not ranked. Questionable. Probably going to be out. But Dowdell, that just opens it up for the explosive game Dowdell had last week. Look at that game, right? So Dowdell, they got him ranked 13th for the week. Well, you can see he had 26 touches. ETN got a little bit of taste there, but not a 5 of them compared to 26 for Dowdell. Now, if he goes again, obviously that's what, why he's ranked so high this week is that they thinking Hubbard to be out, but Dowdell, woo, that's easy. You can see the easy schedule he's got there. So, hey, he had 1,000 yards last year, slouch, right? All right, next is Denver. How they splitting them up? They've got 142, still one of the running teams, the leaders here. Top 10 anyway, right? You see they got J.K. Dobbins ranked 15th on the week and 35th for Harvey. All right, so the touch distribution last week went 21-7. Are they ranked a little high here on Harvey? You can see we had one good game over 10, right? I mean, there are bye weeks going on. They got him ranked 35th. Got the Jets coming in. That's a nice, easy game, right? If you look at the position schedule, 25, that's easy. So they're thinking Denver's going to get up in that run, and spread it around a little bit, right? So, but hey, J.K. Dobbins has been getting the carries, and on the year, you can see it's a 2-1. But fantasy scoring 11 for Dobbins. He's been doing great. Harvey's 45th in scoring. They got him 35th. I mean, the other team's out, I guess, this week, so that bring him up some. How about the Giants, right? Right now, they got 139. They're one of the top rushing teams here. Still in touches, right? How about Scatbo, right? They got him ranked 18th. He's the only one ranked for next week. Let's look at the touches last week, 21. Now, hey, of course, Tracy was out, but it sounds like he's going to come back next week. He'll be ready. So, hey, he'll be in the game, and Singletary got 7 carries. They're probably coming from him. So, Cam Scatbo, hey, look at those. He's been on since, after week 1, 10 points a game. That's serviceable. You can use him. And he got a nice, easy schedule, they're saying here, against Philadelphia. We'll see how easy. One of those Thursday night games is that. You just never know. Teams don't score as much on Thursdays. I don't like my guys on Thursday. You get to see them, but I don't like it when they play. On the season, Scapel 82-34. So it's been him. Took over early, right? How about the Saints come marching in? We've got Alvin Kamara. He's ranked 26th for the week. Kendrick Miller, 38th. They're kind of streaking up. Tough game, though, against New England, right? You see that tough game against New England. Touches for last week, they split it down the middle, 12 and 11. Now, did they flash a little injury? Questionable for Kamara, right? Questionable. Hey, if he doesn't practice, or if something goes there, boy, this Kendrick Miller will shoot up, and what a great one to have here. He's been getting the touches, right? He was creeping up there a little bit, So, and the scores, the week before he did pretty good, but you can see he got 11 touches this last week on the season. He's 42. And if there's any question, they're going to lighten up on him. Now, tough schedule. You can see here for Miller, the 5th tough schedule against New England there. So, it's good, but hey, tough matchup this week. How about Indy? They're running the ball a lot too. They got Arizona at home. Nice, juicy matchup for Jonathan Taylor, the number 1 running back in scoring. Look at that efficiency, 96%. That's just awesome. He's doing with it too. 6 rushing touchdowns, right? Hey, that's part of it is the number 4 team offense is Indy here. They're just cranking it out. You can see rushing 9th, 4th overall. Hey, a lot of points to go around when you're scoring good, right? And Jonathan Taylor's getting them. All right, so, hey, we look at last week's touches where he got 20 to Giddens 5. And on the season, it's 110-19, about that ratio, right? So 110 on the season. He's been going great. You just keep him going in there if you've got him. How about Dallas? Here's a good one. At Carolina, right? Well, Javonte Williams is 10th ranked on the week. He's the only one ranked of all of them. And let's see what he's got here for touches. We've got 17 last week to 4 for Jaden Blue. Got in there and got a couple of touches. You see that little blip there. He got some scoring finally. Miles Sanders was out, but I think Miles Sanders might be back. Limited practice on Wednesday. Questionable, but if he comes back, that'd push Jaden Blue down the thing. But the story's been Javonte Williams, right? Look at those points. Number 2 in scoring. Look at all those points he's been getting. Number 6 in touches. So he's been getting the rock too here a little bit. But Javonte Williams, number 2 in scoring, has number 6 in the touches. So he's been getting the rock, right? So we'll move on from him. How about Dallas? He's been getting all the touches there. How about in Buffalo, right? They've got Cook, who's got Atlanta. He's at Atlanta. Atlanta's got a tough rush defense, so this is a tough game for Cooks. Hey, coming off a down week last week, right? Hey, number 2 hard schedule. Well, it isn't because they've been given sharing the touches. How about Atlanta? Right. Up next is Atlanta. Number 2 ranked is Robinson here. He's been getting the touches, hasn't he? So we move it around. Last week, of course, they had a bye week. So he's coming off a bye week. Be fresh. But he's got 85 to 45, just the 2 of them, right? And they have it with a bye week. They're still in the top 10 in touches. So he's been getting the rock. Coming off, hey, that is a tough, that's just an easy matchup, it says here against Buffalo. So 22nd, he'll be good to go. Get him up and going. Home game against Buffalo. All right, moving on. We got our Las Vegas up next. 128 team touches. Ashton Jeanty. Boy, he's the hot rookie coming in. You see he's ranked 7th in touches, right? So he's been getting the ball. Hey, number 12 ranked this week. You can see he's the number 14th in scoring. You know, probably would have hoped for a little bit much. Had an explosive week 2 weeks ago. Hey, scored pretty good last week. 349, 4 touchdowns on the year. So he's been doing a little better here. We check out his touches. He's getting all the action last week, 19-7. Mostert came on a little bit. He's been coming on a little bit more here lately, getting some of the catches. But on the year, you can still see that, hey, 95 for him compared to the rest of them. 14 for White, but they've been angling towards Mostert more. So Vegas and Ashton Jeanty, you can see he's 14th in scoring. So he's been doing it. How about New England? This is always a good one. They got 127. They're at New Orleans. Should be a good week. And you can see they've got Stevenson ranked 28th and 30 for Henderson. But you look at these touches. Last week, 9, 8, and 7. Right? You getting Ramondre Stevenson. Hey, and Henderson here. You know, you're getting 9 and 8 touches. How you going to do on that? Well, got a touchdown last week. That helps out Ramondre. You know, how you get, 9 touches a game. That's pretty thin. And then, of course, Henderson didn't get anything with that last week. What a few points. But, hey. But the big news here is Gibson out for week 6, right? Antonio Gibson is leeching some of those carries. So, hey, he's not going to be getting any of those carries this week. It's going to be these 2 splitting. Now, it's a 2-headed monster, right? 52 and 47 on the year, split up. But I guess with the easier game and a whole bunch of people off, that's why they've got them ranked consensusly ranked 20th and 28th and 30th here. But, hey, a lot of teams off, so you got to go with something, huh? And let's move on to the Rams at Baltimore. That says it's an easy game. Kyren Williams and Blake Corum are only 2 that's carried so far this year. So, hey, that Blake Corum's a good backup. You can see they got Kyren Williams ranked 8 for the week, right? Hey, he had 22-1. So, Corum didn't. Now, on the year, it's 99-27. Corum has been getting a few more touches. But Kyren Williams, you can see number 8 in scoring here. Number 5 in touches, right? He's been getting the ball there. Look at that last week. And, hey, they've got this easy, on paper, matchup at Baltimore. Baltimore just can't seem to get it together. Will it be up enough that Corum gets a taste, right? Hey, he's lurking here, but he's 41th ranked for the week on consensus rankings. So let's move on to Houston. Houston's 125 on the year. They're on a bye week, it says. So, hey, well, but you can see last week, Nick Chubb and Woody Marks here, 777. So, hey, of course, they're not going to be ranked for this week. So, and they're off. But Woody Marks, hey, down a little bit last week. We thought he was going to take on there and get the touches. And, hey, you can see that last week they gave it 11 to Chubb still. Chubb, and he did a pretty good game. So, and Pierce got in there for 7. All right, this was last week. Of course, on the year, you still got 66 for Chubb. Woody Marks, those been catch up. They kind of came out this week and said, hey, he's going to be the passing back. Jeremy Fowler reports that Texans still view Woody Marks as the passing game back and one that had a bit of a injury history in college. So that's why his touches was down. I mean, they're not going to just go crazy on the rookie, you know, especially if they can get back in it. They had a win last week. So, all right, let's move on to the next team is Minnesota Vikings, 120. They're on a bye too, right? And nobody's ranked this week. You look at the touches last week. Jordan Mason, hey, he's 16-5. Hey, Aaron Jones, when's he supposed to come back? Week 8, hamstring injury. Week 8, when he gets back in, you can pretty well, Xavier Scott, you can just be sharing between him and Jordan Mason, right? So, hey, for the year, Aaron Jones had 17 earlier on, but 79 for Jordan Mason. He's been kind of a 23rd with all these touches, you know, well, 22nd the most amount, but hey, he's, you know, been showing up scoring. Still like a little bit more out of him. How about Jacksonville, 122? Got Seattle at home this week. That's going to be a not so great game. Travis Etienne's ranked 16th. They got Tootin ranked 40th. He's always lurking there. Last week, the touches, though, were 15-5, right? 15 for Travis Etienne. Hey, he's 14th in touches, right? 12th in scoring. So he's been doing good with what he's getting, right? And then last week was a drop-off. So can he get back in here to Tootin? Hey, he kind of had a good, popped up second and third weeks, kind of been going downhill. He'd been hurt a little bit, questionable with the shoulder, limited practice. So, hey, probably be all Etienne again. But, hey, you know, 11th schedule there, tough game against Seattle. All right, let's move on to Philadelphia. They're down on this list. Of course, didn't they have a bye week? So, no, not yet. How about Barkley, right? See, what is he ranked? 5th for the week. You know, plays to Thursday night game against the Giants. Will they lean on Barkley? All right, you can see, hey, he's been scoring pretty good. He's the number 15th in scoring, though, right? Number 4 in touches. So, hey, they've been trying to get him the ball. Number 4 in touches. The thing is, he's been getting all the touches here, right? Although 9 last week, only 9 touches. Whew, 2-2. So, hey, he's been getting on the year. It's just 110 for Dylan here. So, Dylan gets a little scrap now and then, but it's all Barkley, right? And, you know, so maybe he can come on and get a nice, easy matchup here. It says 24th schedule, so get that Barkley in the game, get him going tonight, Thursday night. How about Jets here? Breece Hall. Braylon Allen, of course, he's hurt, right? Expected out till week 13. So now it's going to be all Breece Hall. You got him ranked 14th on the week. Hey, Isaiah Davis is ranked 46th on the week, right? Last week, though, was 18 touches for Hall, 4 for Davis. Of course, Braylon Allen is out, right? Well, hey, 26 scoring on the year for Breece Hall, 16th in touches, right? And last couple weeks been coming on. 12 at Denver. We got Denver at home. The Jets, and it's a 12th schedule, so not great, but with Allen out, Breece Hall might get a little bit more breathing room, although they'll stick Isaiah Davis in there. Came into the year saying that they were going to share the coach, right? How about the Chargers here? None of them are ranked. You see Haskins and Vidal are the 2 ranked. 36 and 34, which one's it going to be? That's kind of the question. Well, last week, Hampton got his 18 touches before he left with an injury, right? Expected to return week 10. So he's going to be out with this ankle injury, opening it up for Vidal, who's, hey, you can see last week they got 5 and 6 touches, didn't do a whole bunch with it, either of them. Well, they'll be in line this week, so nice, easy schedule. So if you knew which one, it's at Miami. They're going to be winning. I guess you'd lean more toward Vidal's more, I guess, viewed as the passing back. So Haskins might get off the Snyder and get some goals because it depends how the game flow goes. All right. All right. Let's move on to Arizona. Michael Carter, kind of a similar situation. Top guys are out. Michael Carter and DeMarcado. Which one's it going to be here? One's ranked 25th and 44th. Michael Carter said he was the starter last week, and he got starter numbers. 23 touches to 3 for DeMarcado. All right, you can see those touches. And then on the season, Benson will lead, but he's going to be out now until week 10. Right? And who knows if that's right away. So you're going to get some mileage out of this Carter here, and maybe this DeMarcado. Hey, he's get some rushing in here too. Got a receiving touchdown. So they have, of course, they got a tough matchup at Indy. So I don't know. That's why he's ranked 40th after that last week, he's ranked 25th. I'm sorry. But hey, that's a tough matchup. We'll see how it goes. But if he's the number one, like he says, he'll be the game in town. How about Miami? We're getting down here. Not so many carries. 115 for the this includes touches too. How about Devon Achane here, right? Devon Achane. Hey, he's number 10 in scoring. That's pretty good. And you can see he's 13th in touches. So he's been doing pretty good with the amount he's getting. You can see scoring good every week. Of course, tough matchup this week against the Chargers. They're at home. But on the touching front, you can see he had 16 to Ollie Gordon's 3. Ollie Gordon just really not been doing much here. So Devon Achane and 88 to 23 on the year. So been a lot of Devon Achane. Although, hey, they're down here as one of those teams that not giving the running backs as much touches. Of course, the team's not been getting so many probably here. So Achane, hey, tough matchup this week. We'll move on to Kansas City. Down here with 115. This is running back touches. This includes the receiving, right? So you can see they're all ranked this week. Got 33, 37, and 45. They're bringing on Brashard Smith here a little bit, starting to rank him up there. You can see last week on the touches, it was 10, 8, and 4. So Pacheco, 10 touches. It's hard to do a lot with it. You can see on the year, he's 49th in scoring. Been similar to that all year. And Hunt, hey, he did a little bit more with it last week, right? Getting 3 touchdowns, right? So they're using him at the goal line a little bit more. And, of course, this Brashard Smith, we've been saying, hey, watch out for him. Why wouldn't you go to him when these others are 49th running back in scoring and 36? Hunt's been coming on a little bit. So they're leaning towards, even though he got 10 for Pacheco last week. And 50-50 on the season with Brashard only 15, but he's going to be coming on. And how about Green Bay? Now, they had a bye week, so they're down a little bit more on this. Got a tough matchup against Cleveland here, right? Cleveland's defense. Well, actually, no, it says it's pretty good. Josh Jacobs, they got Cincinnati. I don't know here, but hey, you can see the touches. Well, of course, they were on a bye week last week, so nobody got any touches. And you had 90 here for Josh Jacobs on the year. Emmanuel Wilson, though, he did come on. He's the new number 2 there, I guess. It was this Chris Brooks earlier on, but he's been fading. So, and of course, this Marshawn Lloyd, he's going to come back eventually. It said week 6, but I haven't heard that he's back and practicing yet. So, still Jacobs there on the year. How about Pittsburgh, right? 27 and 39, right? So, hey, they got a tough matchups here against Cleveland. They're going against Cleveland with that third schedule, right? Well, Jaylen Warren, you see last week, of course, they were off on a bye, but the week before that, Gainwell came in and had the big week, right? So 2-week rest for Jaylen Warren. He is not on the injury report, so he's going to be up and playing. Right? They put consensus ranked, got him 27th for the week. So we'll see how they go, but they're getting back going. How much is Gainwell going to get of that pieces, right? So on the year, you see that they're 50-50, right? So if it's 50-50, hey, with that tough schedule against Cleveland, So, all right, moving on. We're towards the end here. Washington, right? They've got Bill here ranked 19th on the week, right? Well, last week he got 16 of the touches to 5 for Rodriguez and 2 for here. So, hey, he's 18th in scoring. Look at that great last week, a lot of touchdowns, right? He's on 4 touchdowns for the year. All right, so, but, hey, they got a nice, it says easy schedule against Chicago at home. So, hey, all set for Bill to have a great week, right? Chris Rodriguez, I don't show any injuries on him, only 5 touches last night. McNichols is always in there, going to try to get a couple. But, hey, they went to Bill last week with his 16 touches. If they keep it up with a nice, easy schedule, hey, they've got him ranked 19 on the week. So, consensus rankings do. How about Cincinnati here, right? Chase Brown, 29 is just terrible. All right, they got him ranked 29th for the year. He's just not been doing very good. You can see he's 43rd in scoring, right? He got him ranked 18th for the rank. That's just 18th. So Chase Brown here. You can see they're at Pittsburgh, tough schedule. So, boy, just not getting enough scoring. You can see he's 43rd in scoring. Well, there's not enough touches. Hey, they're at the bottom here. That's why. And last week, 15-6. So he's still getting the touches when they're available, right? All right, how about Tennessee? All right, Tony Pollard, he's ranked 22nd. Now, Tyjae Spears is coming back. How about last week? He had 17 touches to 4. Easing him back in, I guess. If that gets to more even touches, neither of them going to be worth starting, right? Hey, got a nice, it says 23rd easy matchup here against Vegas. So we'll see how that goes for next week. Not in the season, 92 for Pollard. Well, yeah, he's had all the run, but are they going to start putting Tyjae Spears in there? Of course, well, they got at Vegas, so we'll see how they go, but just not a lot of offense there going for Tennessee. You can see they're 32nd in passing, 31st team offense, 29th in rushing. Oof, just bad offense there, isn't it? And how about Baltimore? They're way down here on the list, right? And you got a tough matchup for Derrick Henry. Tough matchup for the team. I guess Lamar Jackson's going to be out again. Did not practice. Boy, if he could sneak in there, it'd really help Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, 17th in scoring on the week, 26th in touches, right? So, hey, you've been struggling there in Baltimore. Last week's touches, 15-4. Keaton Mitchell, they're trying to bring him on, but 4 touches, a little bit. And Hill only got 2. See how the game flow goes this week. And how about Chicago, right? Chicago, they got Swift ranked 21st this week. Of course, last week they were on a bye, so no touches. But on the season, it's been Swift to 22 for the Montague. So at Washington, that's going to be a tough schedule for Chicago, right? Hey, 23rd for the receivers, so maybe they'll do a little bit more passing. And tough game for the running backs, huh? So, but Swift, 21 on the year, 28th in scoring. Of course, they had a bye week, so that kind of affects that, doesn't it? All right, that's a look at those touches. I guess that's everybody. Let's take a look at this.